Alright, G101. Now we get to tier 3. We already, well, the first thing we notice is we lose a shit ton of speed. That's the first thing. The second thing is look how much higher in the water this thing sits. We go from that nice water line, impossible to hit ship, into what is starting to look like a tugboat. And, well, this trend will continue with these low tier German DDs. They have a lot of size. They have a lot of thickness. What does this give us? Health, a very good chunk of health. That is a significant health increase. That alone makes it pretty much worth it. The rudder shift increase is nice, but the default one is pretty good. What about the torps? 7 km torps and speed increase. Okay, well, for low tier DDs, torps are bread and butter. Well, for DDs in general. So we're gonna get that first. The range upgrade I haven't even researched because I don't see the point. All it does is increases your concealment. And how many guns do we have? 405mm guns. Unlikely we'll be using them too much, so I have apparently entirely skipped them when I grinded through this line back in the day. We can get it now for the sake of completion, but there's nothing preventing you from doing the exact same thing I did, which is you just skip this upgrade. You just straight up skip it. Because the additional range is probably not as useful as it is a downgrade to lose that spotting range. I said 405mm guns, chat. 405mm gun. I know, chat. English is difficult. Alright, well, second upgrade that you go for on DDs is engine survival. It affects your acceleration, it affects your deceleration, it breaks all the time as well. So even with last stand, you simply want this to be available. I'm still just gonna go for a 3-point captain. I can't be arsed pimping anything more important than that, since it's low tier gameplay. You don't really have, low tier players don't really have much more than this going for them. Your basic captain setup again. Once again, I'm slotting a detonation flag simply because I don't want my example game to be detonated, but as I mentioned, for low tier games, it's usually not worth it. It's kind of a waste. Bothered. Put any camo on. Don't try to save money on camos, by the way. You want the basic camo. Even the basic one that costs like 7,500 is fine. You don't have to do any hi-fi shit if you don't want to. You can just go for a little camo and slap it on. Other than that, what's... Well, let's go into a game. XP signal on a throwaway captain. I didn't put... Oh yeah, I did put the fucking XP, but that was a waste. I did actually put an XP signal. Wow, the difference between tier 2 and tier 3 and 4 is pretty massive when it comes to popularity. I guess because all the real seal clubbers are playing T4 and T3. Is there a playlist with all your Tech 3 Thursdays on? No, I should probably highlight them and make one of those. That's actually not a bad idea. Remind me on Discord or something later. Have you seen the proposed special modules for the Halloween PvP event? No, I have not. Now, really? How badly is... Someone invited me to Vision, right? Will you upload on YouTube? I guess I could upload some of them on YouTube. I might not upload the entire thing because it's going to be hours long, but I could upload segments. So we got top tier in tier 3. It can go either way. You can be top tier or, well... The good thing about all tiers until tier 5 is that you got protected matchmaking. So either you will be +1 or you'll be -1. And although there is some significant changes between tier 3 and tier 4, for most other ships, the DDs are generally not that affected by it. My torpedo range is 7, my concealment is 6.5. Wow, that is a massive nerf in concealment. That is already starting to give you that German destroyer downside, which tends to be German DDs don't really have that good concealment. That's kind of their thing. Their concealment is generally pretty bad. We have 4 guns. We have how many torps? Only 4. Huh. Plus forward launching another 2. So yeah, 6 torps in total. Very slow compared to the V25. Much slower, like we lost like 10% speed. Another thing to keep in mind about German destroyers is that one of their other great weaknesses, besides of course this generally slower concealment, or worse concealment and slower speed, is that their smokes are pretty awful. They are extremely short duration. This one, for example, lasts 49 seconds. So if someone contests the cap, you might not. You can just sit outside your smoke and wait for it to run out. Here comes the concealment issue. I'm already detected by the enemy destroyer. Luckily, it chooses to open fire instead of just spotting me. I'm keeping an eye out for any additional ships. If there are multiple ships here, I'd be careful. I'd maybe smoke up. But since I'm only fighting a single ship, there's no reason for me to smoke up, since I can just out-trade this guy and basically outgun him. Popping my speed boost. Turning in. I am going to kill this guy. Either with my guns or with my torps later. Now, when a DD dies like that, it's a very high likelihood he torpedoed before he died. So that's why we're turning in towards him. And there's this torps we were afraid of. And there's the second set. That's why we turned in, to make sure that we present a small profile. He didn't do the same thing, so he ended up eating the torpedoes. The reason why you turn in is not just because you present a smaller profile, but it also gives you a better degree of control to dodge, which way to dodge and evade the incoming fire or incoming torps. This time we're going to smoke. We have him spotted, and we're going to switch to AP. This is of course the German DD specialty, so to say. This is kind of why they're, besides getting higher up, the German AP, while the penetration is not anything special in general, they have a very high alpha damage, which means you can deal a lot of raw damage just by shooting cruisers, battleships, even other DDs at times with this AP. And it's surprisingly effective, especially when you combine it with a smoke, which of course allows you to just farm. Alright, we secured the cap, and we're gonna go secure B. That's our next project. Here we see, of course, one of the great weaknesses of the German DDs, though. Look at that smoke cooldown. 2 minutes of smoke cooldown, and this is with the premium consumable. 2 minutes of smoke cooldown where I basically just have to wait. I have to sit and wait until my smokes are up again.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Taking a bit of a risk. Gunboating this guy. But we have so many ships here. We have so much support. He's not focusing on me. I'm getting a lot of overpens though. If you see yourself getting a lot of overpens, just switch to HE. It might deal lower alpha, but it's more consistent. And you can get start fires as well. And of course, if they angle, then you should absolutely use HE, because German AP might deal a lot of damage, but the penetration angles are dreadfully bad. See how awful the gun arcs are? How hard it is to hit someone sailing away at like 7 kilometers? That's why I generally don't bother with the range upgrade on low tier German DDs, because the small shells are very light. They lose a lot of speed in the air. So you have huge issues landing shells at long ranges because they're so floaty. Important to note that I am detected, even though there's a smoke in front of me. That means something spotted me from over here.
Torpedoes auf Backbord. Torpedoes auf Backbord. Torpedoes Achterhaus.
I'm gonna go see if I can see what it was that spotted me. There it is. That's what spotted me. Keep an eye out on your own spotting ranges. You can see how hard it is to hit these low tier DDs because they're so small. So low in the water. Let's drop some torps. Focus on gunboating this dude. See, this guy knows what he's doing. He's smoking up.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
It's a good move because he's got these guys giving him vision.
Wir haben einen gegnerischen Zerstörer versenkt.
What he did there was he tried to use his spotting against me. Basically, he had these guys giving him vision, so he could just sit in a smoke and farm. So I had to counter it by smoking up myself, or I'd be forced to fight Cruiser plus smoked up DD at the same time. Closing the distance because I know this guy wants to leave the smoke, which he did. And we should be able to kill him as he runs off. Or alternatively damage him a lot as he runs off. It's so hard to hit these small DDs with these floaty shells. Really? Nice meme. Valkyrie. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that the Valkyrie might be a seal cover. Simply because he demonstrated basic solid fundamentals. Basically, he knew to smoke up and use other people spotting against me. He knew to smoke up and gunboat me, and like he played not anything special, but he showed a good grasp of the basic gameplay, which normally at low tiers you don't tend to see. And that's why seal clubbing is so popular or so strong at low tiers, because, well, just by having a grasp of the fundamentals, you're already a monster compared to everyone else. Jeez. So hard to hit. Oh, he should die to that far.
Feueralarm! Gegnerischer Kreuzer zerstört.
But I wonder.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
I think I'm much more
Problem
humble than you
gelöst.
would understand.
We don't want to play too aggressive for now. Over, Jake. Thank you for the 7 months.
Deutschland Filmiger. D.
You don't want to play too aggressive when your smoke is on cooldown. But now that our smoke is ready again, now we can play a lot more aggressive. And Nassau is really hanging on to. And Nassau is suiciding as well, which is not a good move. Because we kind of need the firepower he brings. This Friant is straight up reversing. Nassau, like, German battleships are quite rough to deal with HE, because they shatter so much of your HE shells. But the problem is, he's being burned. We are bailing. Should be faster than the Friant. Yes, I am. Do I want to use my last smoke here to try to help him? Maybe I can bait this guy into turning. He bailed. It's a shame. My torps are gonna miss them. Then we're just gonna go help these guys. Big mistake here, they're all sitting in a smoke. You need someone scouting. You can't have all DDs sitting in a smoke, you're just gonna die. Oh, is my team gonna shoot him? Okay, they whiffed. Oh, the DD is in the cap. You see the cap is contested? That means there's a destroyer in the cap, so I'm already turning my guns to prepare. There he is. This is a Pan-Asian DD, which means he has deep water torpedoes. Deep water torpedoes cannot hit destroyers. So I can play extremely aggressive and I don't need to dodge any potential incoming torps. I can just chase him down because there's no risk of incoming torpedoes my way. Did Daniel Shipman just call himself a monster in my chat? Oh my god, that was the cringiest humble brag I've seen in a while. Holy shit. Please don't do that again. I mean, I'm saying that for your own sake, but that was like, what? Humble brag? I haven't seen any humble there. That's true.
Unser Sieg ist in Sicht.
And that's a fair point. That was like, please don't do that. That was really awkward to read. Might be a cruiser pushing here. Oh. It's really good that the cap is not contested. That means the cruisers are not in the cap yet. It might be going for B. It looks like they're going for B. I'm ready to turn my ship around. Or not.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
I really thought these guys would spot him, but they both parked behind the island. Luckily, for some reason, shooting.
Nebelwand gelegt.
Oh no. Are they smoking up? Let's go broadside, we're gonna switch to.
Torpedos achterhaus. Feueralarm.
Ah, we finally found his citadel. We finally found his citadel. And then the game ended. Someone else got the kill anyway. We didn't even get our Lidl Kraken. Feels bad. Oh well, at least we got to show off some of that early German AP, which is... That AP will later become a staple of the line, but at tier 3 it's very hit and miss how much you can use it. But you saw that cruiser, he thought he was healthy and happy, and then all of a sudden he basically lost all his health. And that is that German alpha damage on the guns, which is quite terrifying, to be honest. I mean, here's the freehand. The 5 AP shell volley, 7.5k. As much as all that HE spam did combined, so very powerful. He was smoke firing quite well. Yeah, I mean, once again, low tier new players don't shoot into smokes. See, this is what I mean. New players don't shoot into smokes because they don't understand to do it. So this is pretty obviously someone who's clubbing. Someone who's clubbing. Or maybe, or could be leveling the line, to be fair. He doesn't look like he's a seal clubber. He's got a lot of high tier games. Well, somewhat high tier games. So maybe he's not clubbing, but just leveling it. The Valkyrie, on the other hand, that I saw, this guy I'm pretty sure is just a seal clubber based on his playstyle. Yeah. Oh, no, once again, not that many games as I expected. Not that many low tier games. Interesting. But both players were obviously more experienced because of simple things. One of them shot in the smoke and actively tried to dodge incoming torps instead of sailing in straight lines. That means he's got gaming experience. The other destroyer knew to smoke up and gunboat me while using other ships to give him vision. Experience. Didn't mean they were seal clubbing, but it did that was an obvious difference between a new player and someone who's been playing the game for longer. Right, now we go to the tier 4. We'll get our 3-point commander again. Alright, let's see, what are the upgrades like? Not that big of a health up. Wait, did I just lose health? Wait. 10.3. 11. You lose health going to the tier 4. Wow. That's pretty rough. You gain any guns? No, you still have the same 4 guns. Wow. That's pretty rough. That is very rough. What about the torps? Do they at least get significantly better? No, they do not. Wow. I didn't even get this. I guess I just speed boosted straight through and I couldn't be bothered getting the 2 knot speed increase. It does make them slightly better, but still this is rough. Yeah, in terms of upgrades, I'd probably go for hull. And neither of these upgrades are really that important. So if your goal is to just speed grind through the German destroyer line, skip wasting XP on these two and just go straight for the tier 5. That would be the smart choice. Neither of the, they're like the increases this to give in combat capability is so minimal that both can be skipped. If your goal is fast leveling. For the sake of this example, I will get them both though, but absolutely skippable. Absolutely skippable. Right, once again, main armaments. The reason why this is every single destroyer in the game loves this upgrade. Simply because it gives you everything. It gives main battery, it reduces the chance of them breaking, it gives them health, it reduces the repair time. Like, it's insanely good. It's all in one. And then of course engine survival. Once again, we'll put the lethal camo on. You should wear some camo, as I mentioned. You don't save, like, saving that 7k on having worse concealment is never worth it. Get one of the basic lethal camos. Not worth wasting any flags on looters, as I mentioned, but I will put the detonation flag on simply for the sake of the commentary, because detonating would cut the commentary short. At tier 4 you probably start having a bit more captain points, like you would probably have a bit more than this. I think you would have a 6-point captain. I'm pretty sure you would have a 6. Wouldn't you have a 6-point captain around tier 4? I think you would. I'm pretty sure you would have. Roughly though, considering this is a hybrid boat, meaning you benefit from both torps and the guns, you actually want to go for survivability, so you can use both those more. Because, well, your strengths are spread out, so you can't get all your strengths at once, so instead I recommend you spec into survival. Survivability expert at low tier isn't really that good, but it's a perk that scales as you go. So survivability expert is 350 health per tier. Obviously at tier 4 that's not going to be much, that's 1.4k extra health, but then as you keep going up in tiers, every time it gets slightly stronger, so your captain basically levels up as you go. Depends on how good you are. If you're good enough, you can actually get T5 in less than 30 games. Yeah, but that you're still gaining the same XP. Mordicus. You realize that, right? You're still gaining the same XP. I mean, that's how you level through lines. You gain XP. I'm playing. Okay, never. Let's move on. I'm gonna get something to drink. Back. At tier 4, things start to get rough. You might have noticed when I compared the ships that the tier 4 is actually a very questionable upgrade compared to tier 3. In fact, one might say it's not really much of an upgrade at all. You gain a bit of concealment, but you don't really gain any health. You don't really gain any gun power, and you don't gain any torpedo power either, except with the upgrade a slight bit of speed. So the issue is, you're pretty much the same ship you were at tier 3, but instead you have to fight tier 4s and 5s constantly. And that means carriers, that means extremely strong premiums, that means new consumables being added, like Hydro is suddenly becoming a thing at this tier. So the game got a lot harder. The game got a lot more difficult at this point. And there's a lot more things to keep an eye out. In general, if you're top tier, you can play fairly aggressive in the middle. But considering I'm not top tier, On the low tier, I'm going for a side cap. If you are, however, top tier, then you can play aggressive and you can contest the B cap. But right now, I don't think it's worth it, because I'm already basically a tier down, which will make the game a lot harder. Tier 4 is the beginning of the rough season, I would say, for pretty much all lines. Tier 4 to Tier 6 is the rough season, mostly because you spend a lot of that time being up-tiered. And it's a tough experience. I'm moving away in case I get plane spotted. I think that carrier, see that carrier is actually he's going to try to drop me. We're gonna pop our smoke and get undetected, because I know this carrier wants to drop me. As soon as we saw those bombs coming in, I saw that he wanted to come in and reset the cap. So that smoke didn't really gain me any sort of gun advantage. I can't shoot anyone, I can't really do anything as special, but it protected the cap from being reset. So this was more for the team, and of course, if you're grinding these lines, if you're trying to level these lines, then capping objectives gives you a lot of XP, so you want to be securing these caps. Even if you can't outrun anyone, you can't kill anyone, just securing the objective gives you a nice chunk of XP, and you can use that to speed up your grinding. Pretty sure my AA is pitiful. Yes, my AA is absolutely pitiful. Now, the default key for turning on and off AA is P, which I recommend you use. But at these low tiers, my AA range is actually worse than my plane range, or my detectability range by air. So there's no point in turning it off, because if my AA guns are shooting at the ship, it means or shooting at the plane, it means I'm already spotted by the plane anyway. I was about to move towards B, but then I saw not only do they have any Zokas there, but they have a huge fleet force protecting B. So instead of trying to solo push into this, which would probably not end well, I'm gonna go see if I can go harass the New York. Planes are coming in from here. You want to look at the minimap a lot. Especially at these tiers when you start seeing a lot of planes. You want to keep an eye out on the minimap, because if you look at the minimap, you can see planes coming from far away and you can try to dodge them. It doesn't obviously work always, but you can try to mitigate spotting the planes offer. Now, what was very important there was I didn't launch the torps while I was plane spotted. You saw that plane spotting icon? While the plane spotting icon was on me, I refused to launch the torps, even if I could have. And the reason for that is, if you launch torps while the plane is spotting you, the icon is showing, the torps will be instantly detected by the planes. Now they have changed that around a bit, but when they're that on top of you, they're absolutely going to be detected. So I waited until that debuff disappeared, and only then did I launch my torps. We're gonna land at least one. That's a flooding. He's flooding and burning. Not gonna waste the smoke here, because this guy's going to die very soon. Nice. So we got rid of a threat here. And now we need to do our other job. When you're playing a hybrid destroyer, when I say hybrid, I mean a destroyer that uses both guns and torpedoes. When you're playing a hybrid destroyer, your job is to screen and hunt other destroyers. In this case, we know there's any Zokaze here, so my job should be now to make sure that he cannot wreck my team, and basically wreck the rest of my battleships. And I found him, that's good.
Torpedos direkt voraus.
Here's the expected torps. We're not gonna let this guy get away. This is his smoke. No, he got killed by my team. Nice. So far, we've been fulfilling our role pretty well. We've secured the first camp. We killed the battleship that tried to push, which obviously you can't push in alone like that against unscouted destroyers. And we hunted down their destroyer. More importantly, that massive long smoke cooldown that we have, it's finally gone now. So our smoke is available again. So that means we can push into this B cap that we kind of ignored earlier on, simply because they had so much presence there. But you see the presence we saw earlier, it's kind of moved away, and the destroyer is dead. So at this point we can go secure this B cap for my team, which means more XP. Goal, of course, especially at this low tier, should be to maximize your XP gains. Oh my cruisers are pushing into their spawn. Obviously not a good move, and they will most likely die doing that. Cruiser looks like he might be turning in. We're gonna maintain our distance. We don't want to waste the smoke here. Try to maintain my my concealment is 6.1, so I want to stay 6.1 away from him, or 6.2 at this point. But I also want to secure the cap. There we go. Cap is secured. Now we can leave. Calling target on him because he's going for the capture point. I'm about to get plane spotted, which is annoying. I'm trying to avoid the plane while keeping... My plane spotting is 2.9, so I want to stay 2.9 away from him. Now I need to reset this cap. I'm hoping he's gonna turn to shoot me. There's planes spotting him now. If he turns his guns for me, I can smoke. He's turning his guns for me. I got planes there. And my planes will give me the vision I need. And once again, that strong German AP that I mentioned earlier, once again shows its strength against those thin cruiser armors at low tier. So we managed to defend the cap that we took for our team. Now we gotta deal with some planes. If planes are trying to drop you, make sure you're like, you see, you never want to be with your stern towards where the planes are coming from. You want to be showing full broadside towards them, so that when they drop you, instead of dropping you like this, they drop you like this. And it minimizes the chance of any bombs hitting you and any damage taken. That plane will no doubt keep me spotted for a long time, but I'm not too bothered by it, because I can just push up and secure C for my team. And none of them are really in range to stop me. The Dugai might shoot me, but at that range, it's not gonna do much. We've gained a bit of speed, actually. We were 33.5 at tier 3. Now we're 35.4, so we've regained a bit of speed that we lost earlier. Looks like the Phoenix wants to pick a fight. The plane despawned, which is fantastic news. can't citadel from this range. That's a shame. Can I secure the camp for now?
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Can I stop shooting for a bit?
Unser Sieg ist in Sicht. Nebelwerfer gestartet. Unser Sieg ist in Sicht.
Oh, he's got Hydra. Forgot about that thing.
Nebelwand gelegt. Unser Sieg ist in Sicht. Feueralarm!
Oh, that's no citadel? Fuck, it's gonna get destroyed, so that sucks. Really, I can't citadel this guy. Ah,
Gegnerischer Kreuzer zerstört.
that's unfortunate. I thought he would die a lot sooner, but I guess he had a saturated superstructure. What that means is his superstructure has taken so much damage that it can no longer take any more damage. So my HE damage was actually very pitiful on him. Nice. Nice. Just survive. We will win this anyway though, because what is something that people often underestimate is the importance of capture points and objectives. You might have noticed that I secured A, I secured B, and I secured C. In fact, our 3 caps are my 3 solo caps. So even while being the low tier against top tiers, I was still able to pretty much secure this victory for my team. Not perhaps by securing too many kills, but by securing the objectives. So there's no way for them to reach him in time, and in 2 minutes the points will tick over and we will win this game without any issues. I gotta say, I did think my AP would be able to citadel the Königsberg, but I guess that is the issue that comes with having to fight higher tier ships. Tier 5, your 105mm AP is no longer able to citadel a Königsberg the same way I could citadel these tier 4s. And yeah, well, in my defense, it's been a long time since I played these ships, so this is as much a learning experience for me as it is for you guys. In before detonation, carriers can't detonate. Now, ideally this horse show should turn south. Horse show, turn south. Oh. There's no need for him to reset. There's no need for him to do anything. If the New York here, he can't make it from here to here before the game ends. Even if he, like, look at New York's speed. He'll be barely able to enter the cap, and the game is over. What was the big threat here, and the reason why if you're wondering, why did I tell the Hosho to turn south? Because if he keeps sailing like this, he's giving full broadside to a New York that can easily shoot him from this range. By turning south like this, it's no longer as easy to hit. As you can see, the New York, he realizes that his only way of killing is shooting, and because the Hosho turned south like I told him to, he is easily leaving the range of this guy. That is one small battleship. And we get a win. 4 resets, 3 full caps. 2 kills, but the kills weren't really the objective, were they? The objective was winning the game, and that's what we did a very good job at, because our 3 caps was the only caps my team had. So it worked out very well. And if you thought the Tier 4 experience, the Tier 4 German DD experience was rough, well, it gets rougher from there. It gets a lot rougher from there. So now you get the tugboat. This ship is, I think they even don't they even call it? She was officially classed a fleet destroyer, multi-purpose ship. Well, it's a goddamn tugboat that they put a bunch of guns on. And the problem with being a tugboat that they put a bunch of guns on is, look at the size of this thing. Look at the absolute size of this thing. This is a thick German boy. Well, girl. She is the thickest of the thick. And oh my lord, this thick girl, she catches shells like she catches cupcakes. So that's gonna be a real issue to play this ship. The health upgrade is actually pretty good. Does it give us any gun upgrade? It gives us rudder shift, AA. The health upgrade is nice. What about the torps? Oh. Honestly, considering you're gonna have to go up against higher tiers, I would probably go for the torps first. Followed by the hull. Oh, I actually didn't need this captain. I should dismiss. I'm just gonna use my old one. Followed by the range upgrade. Problem is now, you remember those 405mm guns we had at tier 3, which were quite good at tier 3. Well, we still have them at tier 5. And the things that were quite good at tier 3 are not quite good when you suddenly have to face tier 7 enemy ships. Because tier 5 marks a sign of the end of protected matchmaking. Wargaming implemented protected matchmaking to help new players have a more comfortable experience, but at tier 5, protected matchmaking runs out, which means instead of enjoying +1, -1 matchmaking, we get +2 matchmaking. And +2 obviously means you can face tier 7s. And yeah, that's an experience and a half. Let's see, let's get our... This is my dude. It is. I talked about it last time, and I think you can have a 10-point captain by tier 5. If you use the same captain the entire way through, you can have a 10-point captain. And obviously, the one thing you should have been saving for, the one thing you should have absolutely been saving your XP for, is this perk, Concealment Expert. This is the bread and butter. This is the bread and butter of this, pretty much all destroyers. But on the tier 5 ones, my god, do you need it, because you are in for an up tier fest. If I get tier 5 matchmaking, we're going to be very, very, very fortunate, but I find it unlikely because T5 is rough. And T5 is rough for ships that are quite strong for their tier. For the T22, which is already pretty weak for its own tier, being up tier to tier 7, yeah, it's not fun. Now, if our AA was good enough, you could run AA Guns mod 2, if your AA was good enough. But yeah, these values don't exactly inspire confidence. We're just gonna go for the better gun and torpedo tube traverse. And once again, don't skimp out on the camos. Get one of the cheap ones, one of the little camos, or put one of the nicer ones on. Put on one of these. At tier 5, you can start considering your signals, because as I mentioned, this is the end of protective matchmaking, so you might want to try going a bit harder on the signals. In this case, I would probably... Detonation is pretty damn good to have on destroyers because they detonate so much. And other than that, faster cooldown is very nice for your smokes, and faster speed is always useful. Especially because you're going to start facing a lot of the high tier, really speedy ships, so getting that speed increase is pretty damn nice. And of course, other than this, I would probably go for a bunch of XP flags, because tier 5 is not a tier you want to linger at. Tier 5 is a tier you want to boost through as fast as possible. TRB says, and I wouldn't waste 500,000 credits on that third mod if I was leveling up unless I was prepared to demount with doubloons every tier. That is a fair point. If you're very strapped for cash, that third upgrade doesn't really have that big of an impact. It costs $500,000, but the impact it has is very questionable at low tiers. It's more for min-maxing at higher tiers, so yeah, I would agree with that. Skipping that would absolutely be possible. Well, it looks like I was given some streamer RNG here, or streamer matchmaking. Good old tier 5 matchmaking. After all the talk about getting tier 7 matchmaking, I actually ended up getting tier 5. Now, it's still going to be rough though, because as I mentioned, this ship is not particularly good for tier 5 either. Like, you might be thinking, but wow, he got so lucky, now he's going to carry the game, but the T-22 is simply not a very good ship, regardless of tier. It suffers exceptionally much from being up tier because it's so bad at its own tier.
Alle Mann auf Gefechtsstation.
CV will be a problem, and Orion is scary as hell. That HE is terrifying. October is terrifying, so much firepower. At least we got 360-degree turrets, which makes this ship at least more comfortable to play. 360-degree turrets means that instead of the turrets having to turn around this way, they can lift the turrets and you can turn them straight through the ship like this, which makes it easier when fighting targets. When targets surprise you from a surprising angle, it makes it easier to keep your targets on them. Unforgiving hobo. What's my plane spotting range? 2.7 air detectability. What's my AA range? 4.5. So we need to turn off AA. Gonna spot me? Oh yeah, he's going for the spot. So we turn on AA again, we pop speed boost. You don't want to be sitting stationary if a carrier is going in for a drop. Let's see if we can secure this camp.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
Note that the only reason the Mutsuki would have been there and doing what he did was because he probably torpedoed. If you see another destroyer on the other end like this, you want to do what I'm doing here. And that's turn your stern towards him. Why am I doing this? Because I expect that he torpedoed. And by turning my stern towards him, if there's incoming torpedoes, I'm already angled for them. So I don't get caught full broadside. We're not gonna stick around though. Because I don't like the risks. I was a bit annoyed I had to use my smoke, but they were shooting me from down here. And as I mentioned, this is a big ship, and I didn't want my cap to get reset. The torps I mentioned, that's why we angled in the smoke. Because if you smoke up like that, any DD worth their salt is gonna torp it.
Alle Stationen, brauche Feuerunterstützung.
Okay, so that DD is smoking up.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Okay, left the smoke. Damn, they recognized me. Could be stream snap, could be just random happenstance. Using the T-22 smoke, you see the T-22 laid a smoke there. I'm using his smoke to my advantage. Laying down a bit of firepower while his smoke sits there. Nice, we got a fire. I am spotted. Question is from where? Mutsuki? Unlikely. Maybe the Koenig saw me. No, he wasn't close enough. And this left flank is collapsing. It's absolutely, completely collapsing. We have 6 torps now. Range is 7.5. That's not very impressive. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hit him. Possibly hit the Isokaze. Now, I think the Isokaze is gonna go for our carrier. That's what destroyers tend to do. They tend to carrier. They love hunting the carrier. That's kind of their thing. And the Isokaze hasn't been spotted in a while. There he is. Yes, he's going for the carrier. So that was just a prediction, because based on what DDs usually like to do.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
There's a concept bail. Let's see if we can citadel this guy. We wait for him to shoot.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
He's turning. Interesting. He turned in. You rushing him?
Nebelwand gelegt.
Gegnerischen Kreuzer entdeckt. Gegnerischen Zerstörer gesichtet.
Really, shutters? Really, fucking shatters. You can't believe it. I'm gonna shoot these Akaza in a bit. This guy's the bigger threat though. No, unbelievable. I really can't pen his armor. That makes me sad.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff entdeckt.
Keeping the Akaza away from my carrier. You see my carrier has managed to get pretty far away now. They have a whole, like, this is very common in low tier. Your team goes to hunt their carrier, their team comes to hunt your carrier. It's the typical potato fiesta of low tier. And by just protecting your carrier, you can usually get a bunch of free kills, because the people who go to hunt the carrier are rarely best of players. Oh, well shit. Right. Well, that's their push pretty much countered. There's a Kazas ran off somewhere. He's afraid of me. My carrier is pretty safe, although the T-22 might just go and kill him. We're gonna push between CB, see if we can secure B, see if we can cut off this T-22. T-22 has got 68mm of pen at 5 kilometers. Holy shit, yeah. It's the 105mm guns, they're so bad. They're just so pitifully bad. Really shouldn't expect much from these guns. Oh. The carrier doesn't understand. A more experienced carrier would scout the cap. He accidentally spotted the T-22. Now he needs to understand to change course. He needs to turn his ship. Because he's gonna get, but he's not. He's gonna sail in a straight line and he's gonna get torqued. That's a shame. Oh, we stopped plane spotting him. That's a shame. If he would have kept plane spotting him, we could have easily killed him, but it's the low tier destroyers or low tier. Oh, you see, this is a sign. He knows it's me. That's the guy who said hello, Flamu. Instead of torping the battleship, he tries to torpedo me. What's the torp cooldown? It's a minute. We're gonna rush him then. But like a more better player would not have torpedoed me. A better player would have torpedoed the battleship. But this is just someone who went, oh my god, it's Flamu. So that's a bit of a shame because it misses with the preview a bit. That's a shame. No one else shot him.
Das gegnerische Team steht kurz vor dem Sieg. Problem gelöst.
These guns really are pretty sad. It's a shame. Really? No hits.
Torpedos auf Steuerbord. Maschinenboost deaktiviert. Torpedos direkt voraus. Torpedos direkt voraus. Feueralarm.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Can't get a single one of the kills. Damn, this thing glides as well. It's so big and clumsy that it glides as well. Pretty annoying. We want to go hunt down the Mutsuki, but we also want to torp these guys. We need to get close enough for our torpedoes to have range. We're gonna go gun down the Mutsuki. God damn it. Seriously, this Königsberg! He's taken every single one of my kills! Incredible. Ah, this guy stopped just before my torps. What a shit game. Really, all my guns can shoot from that angle. I'm trying to hold down mouse 1, but it doesn't allow me to shoot. There we go. Game ended. Holy mo. Zedong has gifted its sub to It's a Me Stallion. Thank you very much. Once again though, wow, I know where my kills went. Holy Jesus. Still though, we managed to once again secure objectives, screen enemy destroyers, and in general keep our carrier safe. We didn't go hunting the enemy carrier until at the very end when it was convenient, and that's such a common mistake people do. They commit too heavily into hunting the enemy carrier, which is... Low tier carriers aren't really that effective. They don't really do much. If you just dodge their torps, they really don't do that much. So committing all your resources to kill them is usually a pretty dumb move. To be fair, the T-22 does not seem to have alpha enough to secure anything. Yeah, that is... I mean... I mentioned it earlier. 4x1 105mm with a 4-second reload. And then we go tier 4, 4x1, 4-second reload. Tier 3, 4x1, 4-second reload. The problem is you have tier 3 gun power at tier 5. We got very lucky in the fact that we faced same tiers, but you can imagine how much of a shit experience it is when you have to face tier 7 ships in this thing and you're literally sailing around with tier 3 gun power. It's horrendous. Just a horrendous experience. Oh, I have the guide. Let's see. Priority-wise, consumables once again. Smoke would be number 1. Premium smoke, followed by premium repair. I'd probably go hydro, followed by speed. If you're a new player though, you probably don't have the credits to run all the premium consumables, so just run the defensive ones, these two, and these can be normal ones. So let's see, what does the hull upgrade give us? 800 health, that's not very much. It doesn't give us any gun power. It gives us a bit of AA, a bit of rudder shift. Questionable hull upgrade. The torpedo upgrade, on the other hand, gives us another half kilometer of range and a nice chunk of speed. So that would make the torpedo upgrade probably worth getting first. Range upgrade. Yeah, you always get that last on DDs. Both guns are good. The 128mm guns are more DPM focused, but the 150mm guns are very heavy alpha. The reload is questionable, but the alpha is quite enjoyable, and they can citadel a lot of cruisers and catch them by surprise. So for the sake of this commentary, I will run the 150s because they are hard hitting with a good fire chance. Less DPM, but big alpha strikes potential. They're pretty fun to play. The hull upgrade apparently gives you access to the hydro consumable. That's pretty important. Let's see. Oh yeah, well then the hull upgrade. I would still get the torps first. But then I'd follow it up right after with the hull upgrade. Because the low tier hydro isn't really much to brag about. I mean, it's 4K ship spotting, 3K torp spotting. It's more of keeping yourself safe, and when you're trying to grind XP, you get the early XP is easier to get with more torp range than with the slight hydro. Once again, main armament mod. We could run, if you do have access to this one, now would be the time to start slotting it. What this does is increase your hydro duration by 20%, which means that we now have a 120-second hydro. That's pretty nice. This one isn't very good. It's only good on specific... Well, I say that, but I mean, it's only good on specific type of ships that have ships that have very high action time, it's great on. Ships that don't really have high action time, it's questionable.
Is the Jutland worth playing or should I just skip it? BTW, thanks for the content.
Sexelis, thank you for the 22 months, and the Jutland is really strong. It's a very strong destroyer. Alright, I think, how's our AA? It is absolutely pitiful. So we go once again for this. Now we get access to a 4th upgrade. Now, usually the way I go for this is that if you have good rudder shift, then propulsion is the way to go. And I'm gonna, unless you're a battleship, then I go damage control. But in general, if you have good enough rudder shift, then I just tend to go propulsion, because most of the time when you get screwed, it's because you're spotted from a stationary position and you need to accelerate to disengage. And the acceleration mod helps a lot more than the rudder shift does in those situations. Both are small upgrades, even though they look quite big. The thing is, you already have such good values to begin with, that's why they feel like small, but I think the propulsion gives the biggest advantage out of all of them. Let's take our 10-point captain. Where's our 10-point captain? Yes. Note that I didn't cover it, but if you have a premium ship, there's some nice synergy you can use to train your captains or train them for the next ship. Let's say for here, I'm moving my T-22 captain to my Ernst Gaede. So first of all, I have to retrain him. I select Naval Academy, I pay 200k, and instead of having to pay the full training, I only have to do half the training. I select this one. And now, at this point, we have already started my retraining for the Gaede. At this point, if I wanted to, I could go on my premium, the T-61, and I could move my captain from the ship. I could move my Gaede captain to my T-61, and I could just have fun playing my premium while training the ship towards the Gaede. So if you don't want to use doubloons and you don't want to use free XP or commander XP, you can use your premiums to actively retrain your captain using this method. And I mean, it's a nice change of pace. You just play a premium in between while retraining your captains. And I think that's one thing that people often fail to realize when it comes to premiums. Are you selling out for wargaming? Absolutely. Explaining how you can save doubloons when you already own a premium is in fact selling out. Have I told you about Twitch Prime? I'm obviously too lazy to do that, so we're just gonna retrain it. Right, let's see, what's our turret traverse? 22.5. Shit, that's the one of the down. No, both of them have rubbish turret traverse. I would say at tier 6 you probably have 12-point captain. Would you have a 12-point after all the grinding? How much XP is it? Chat, would you have a 11-point? You don't have a 12-point yet. 11. 12 is pushing it. Well, if 12 is pushing it, then we're not going to go for a 12. We're just going to play our 10-point captain. I don't want to be pushing it because the idea is, of course, to give a somewhat realistic experience, not just slap a 19-point captain on top of it and just go shit on everything. That's stupid. Let's put some spicy camo on this thing. Hunter is nice. This is German camo. Looks good on the German ships. Not surprising. Signals. I'm running the fire chance flags, and that's because you already have such high fire chance on the ship. So adding these on top just... Oh, and you only get the 0.5% bonus. Speed, let's go. Detonation, we don't want to detonate. We're not going to waste any other flags. Normally, of course, you would run XP and potentially credit flags. Normally, you want to save your credit flags for your premiums to make more money, and your XP flags for your silver ships. Let me get something more to drink. Back. I always see, of course, one of the main issues. I got lucky at tier 5 by getting T5 matchmaking, but in general you don't really maintain that luck for long, and this is most of the time the experience you will face when playing tier 5 or tier 6, and that is of course being up tiered. At this point, it's worth, in general, I would recommend, if you're going to start playing a destroyer line, go on Google and literally type radar ships in World of Warships. And surveillance radar data, I think it's the first link. Yeah, it's the first link. The very first link, if you Google that, is the World of Warships wiki. And that will show you all the ships that have access to radar. And it's good to know that, because at tier 5 and 6 you start facing enemy radars, and in this case, for example, if you don't have to remember it, you can just have it open on another tab, and then when you load into a battle, you look at all the enemy ships, and then you tab out and you look, oh, Atlanta is on the list. Okay, that means they have one radar enemy ship. It makes life easier, and it's worth learning by heart which ships have access to radar, because you have to deal with them differently. Like, the type of aggression you can play goes out the window when radar ships are introduced.
Came as a potato, stay as a weeb.
Is that the Flamu channel experience? Thank you for the 19 months. Now, this is standard battle. So first of all, we're playing fairly safe, because we want to know what is the enemy carrier doing. Secondly, we want to know where are the enemy ships. Lightning, terrible. Both of these outgun me very heavily. They're tier 8 gunboats. I'm a tier 6 hybrid. So, well, Lightning is more of a hybrid as well, but they outgun me hard because of the 2-tier advantage. And they have a radar, the Atlanta. So, before we commit to any part of the map, we're waiting to get some information. Oh, and we get someone spotted.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Okay, accelerate then. Wait, what is he doing? He's making a run for it? Is he running into the torps? There's the Terrible. And he got killed. Very questionable moves. I didn't land as many shells as I thought, but to be fair, that Fusion did some very questionable moves. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but that's one DD dead. I'll take it.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
We wait until the enemy gunboat shoots, which means he's spotted. And then we start returning fire.
Nebelwand gelegt.
Got some good damage in. High chance of torpedoes, so we pop our Hydra. I expected him to have torped me, that's why I popped the Hydra.
Unser Team hat die Führung übernommen.
And
Gegnerische Zerstörer
very quick. See, they did the exact same thing I said you shouldn't do. You see what the enemy destroyer did? All the 3 enemy DDs did the one thing I said you shouldn't do. And that's, they were too aggressive in the early game. You don't want to be aggressive in higher tiers. Stuff that worked at lower tiers doesn't work at high tier anymore. You get caught and you get killed. So, especially in a standard battle, you generally want to get some information. You want to figure out where are different ships located, what's going on, like where are they deploying. Get an idea of the battlefield before you commit. Because the enemy team is now really fucked. Because it's 4 minutes into the game and all 3 of their destroyers have managed to die. Whereas on my side, our 3 DDs have gotten 3 kills already. So, and our carrier killed one of the DDs as well. So, that's a very common mistake, and that's something low tiers don't really prepare you for, and that's the complete shift in gameplay meta that happens around the mid tier. We're gonna turn off our AA. My AA range is 3.5. My detectability range by air is 3.9. I actually don't need to turn it off. I can keep it on. I can keep my AA on. We need to keep an eye on that though. That detectability range by air is very bad. That's a very high value, so we gotta be careful. I think it's because this mast here, or just the general size of the ship. Oh, I'm gonna get plane spotted, I think. Ooh, just barely managed to dodge him. We're gonna switch to AP. The reason we switched to AP is because there's an Aoba here. And these guns are not normal destroyer guns, these are 150mm AP guns. Oh, that's very tempting. But let's not do that yet. 8 km torp range. Right there, this. Oh, he's gonna bail. Uh-oh. We're gonna smoke.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
The Oba doesn't scare me. This battleship AP here scares me. Wow, he actually got himself killed. That's a shame. What a weird spot for the Bismarck to be sitting.
Nebelwand gelegt.
That caught me completely by surprise.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
I don't know why he's sitting there. It's a weird position. Still though, we've done hunting. We got a King George and an Amag that's pushing into our spawn. So we're gonna go see if we can go deal with that.
Unser Sieg ist in Sicht.
Is it gonna turn in? Hello, hello, Ranger.
Unser Sieg ist in Sicht.
Shit, that plane. That is actually a very rough plane. We shoot it down. Please, no NC. Focus fire the plane. How is this King George undetected? And why is my carrier? Fuck, he's not shooting it down, is he? No, he did. Where the fuck is this King George? My Hydra can't spot him. Oh, he's here. Oh, accelerate. Worst timing in history, holy shit. Please tell me he's got the AP loaded. Nope. He did not. I should have saved my torps, but I'm afraid his next ape volley will kill me. Wait, the game.
Feueralarm!
Really? I don't even know if I was about to kill him, because I was about to outturn his turret traverse. And I don't know if I was about to kill him or he was about to kill me. And now we'll never find out, because the game already ended. What the hell was this match? Really? That was such a goddamn lethal game. I'm gonna play another guide. Normally I only play a single one, but what the hell was this match? This was stupid. This was a stupid game. It ended so fast. Stupid just like most of the games. Ain't that the truth? No, but... Oh! Well, we got one tier 8 and now we got one... Well, I guess we get to experience all of it. The one good thing about that tier 6 game was that it showed what happens when you play aggressive in a destroyer in higher tier, if you don't know what the enemy has. I can citadel these three. Farragut can put up a really good... Farragut and Icarus can both put up a really good fight. So can the Eggley, in fact. in general, the 128mm guns are really good if you're fighting a lot of enemy DDs because of the rapid fire. The 150mm guns, not quite that good against destroyers. Their long reload is a bit of an issue. Goof20, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you for the subs, my dude. I appreciate it. And anyone else, if I missed any of you, I apologize. I appreciate them all. My concealment is very bad. That's something I didn't touch upon. The concealment of 6.6 is not good at all, and it's especially punishing when facing higher tiers, because they usually get quite good concealment, whereas you're stuck with the basically awful concealment.
Feuer auf gegnerisches Kriegsschiff konzentrieren. Roger. Roger.
He left the cap. Does that mean he's here? Or back here?
That was a great battle.
Interesting. Oh, he's back there.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Whoa! Can I get undetected? 3, 2, there we go. Did he shoot? No.
Problem gelöst.
Das gegnerische Team hat die Führung übernommen.
What a weird Egla player. Oh, they had a DD there as well.
Provide anti-aircraft to concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Let's use our heavy fire chance.
Nebelwand gelegt.
He's not repairing the fire, so we're gonna switch to AP. Okay, AP. Feels good, man. Feels destroyer, man.
You're not known to be a humble man, but I wonder.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
3CX, thank you for the 4 months.
Since you are playing DD right now, I could ask if you recommend Terrible.
Yeah, not really. I think there's so much good competition. I don't really see a point to play that. Oh shit.
Feuer auf gegnerisches Kriegsschiff konzentrieren.
Hey, who's spotting me? It's the Congo. Nice.
Feuer auf festgelegtes Ziel konzentrieren.
Gonna make a full turn. Fuck, the kamikaze lost vision just as I needed him to give me vision. God, the kamikaze lost vision just when I needed vision. That's annoying. He's gonna have made a full turn by the time I see him again. He doesn't even realize. Wait, no? Give me that
All
broadside.
forces, provide cover for that target.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
Fuck, where's my citadels? I'm leading. Really? Suck.
Maschinenboost aktiviert. Nebelwand gelegt.
Is he stopping there? What the fuck is gonna reverse from there? He's smoked. So tempted to go YOLO. Oh shit. Oh, he has Hydra as well.
Das gegnerische Team hat die Führung übernommen.
Kritischer Maschinenschaden.
How's that even possible? How can I only land one citadel from that angle? How's that even fucking possible? I'm so mad.
Feueralarm.
I'm so mad. How the fuck does RNG work? How the fuck does RNG work like that? How is that one citadel at 4 kilometers? That was just unlucky. That was just horrendously unlucky, nothing else. Drive by you, thank you for the sub. There's really no other way to describe that besides I just got RNG took its big meaty fist and shoved its fist up my ass. He sailed full broadside in front of me and I got 2 citadels in total. Would zooming out a bit even help there? I don't even know. That was just bullshit. I just got really unlucky. He played it terribly. He didn't angle once. Oh well. Oh well, shit happens. Annoying though. Because the whole reason I went to YOLO was to show off the AP and the power of the 150mm guns. But I guess that's the risk you take. How many cruisers with 152s are great without IFHE? Not many, I think. Check Leander Citadel is very small. I know the Leander Citadel is like practically not there at all, but that was so point blank range. Fuck is the Leander? Do I even have the Leander? I'm blind. Let's see. Shit, it's so waterline. So very waterline. Might also have been aiming a bit too far in the front here. Might have been a combination of super waterline and the fact that I aimed. I might think I took too much lead for him. That's also a possibility. Compared to Perth. I don't see much of a difference. What am I supposed to be looking at? It's very slightly smaller. Huh. This was actually good, because I remembered it being more centralized on the smokestack. Like I remember the Citadel being something more like this. But it actually starts here and goes really far back. But there's like almost nothing in the front. I'm pretty sure I aimed too far in the front. This was good. I didn't remember this. That's useful. It's a weird looking Citadel. I'd completely forgotten it looks like that. Right. Then it is time for the Libercht Maas. If I remember correctly, the Maas was not the most enjoyable of experiences. Once again, priority is of course smoke, repair, followed by the consumables. The Hydra is still questionable. 4K ship spotting, questionable. Now we only have 125s or 128s, but now we finally have 5 guns and with a decent reload. So that should be interesting. Health. We got AA. Wow. Is this supposed to really buff my AA? I guess it gives us that long range AA, but no, it doesn't actually. It buffs the long range. It's still pitiful AA though. Ultimately, it's still absolutely pitiful AA. The rudder shift increase is very nice because the default rudder shift starts getting pretty bad at this point, especially since the turning circle is also, well, not the end of the world, but more importantly though, that is a massive health increase. Holy shit, that's a lot of health. That is a massive goddamn health increase. Holy shit. For that reason alone, the hull already looks very tempting. Let's check the torps. Half a kilometer range increase. No, I would get the hull first. The hull, rudder shift and health increase is just too massive to discount. We'll go this, this, and range. That 0.5 kilometers is very useful. I agree, but ultimately that's 3k health on a tier 7 DD. I think it's too much to ignore. It's a 20% health increase. It's like more than a 20. It's, yeah, 20% health increase, I'd say. Jesus, it's more than that. That is massive. Right, let's see. This guy, the game ended. Where's my guide? I actually want to see the damage that I did and took from that lander. Yeah, too many overpens. We did the same damage to each other, pretty much. I did, yeah, we did 11.11k to each other. Fuck, I could have so easily killed him though. But I think I fucked it up. Well, I straight up fucked it up. That's annoying. Oh no, we got their Hydra consumed. Where the hell did I put my Hydra from the Guyana? Demount. Note that if you do mount one of those special upgrades, the only way to get it off is paying 25 doubloons. So if you're going to use it the entire way through, keep in mind it's going to cost you 100 or more doubloons to do it. Where the shit did I put my mouse? There it is. No point going for the AA, it's so pitiful. Once again, this upgrade can probably be skipped again. Like, this is a very questionable upgrade in terms of value. The turret traverse, or torpedo traverse, is probably the most important thing it gives for brawling. Once again, acceleration. I guess we're starting to get to the D's, or well, the higher tier ships now at tier 7. We can start investing a bit more flags into this. Ikshana 93, tier 3, 21 months. God damn. Holy shit, I appreciate it, my dude. That is some long ass big support. How do you get those upgrades? There's missions for them usually, there's special events that give them, and from the arsenal. You can buy them with coal. You can buy them with coal in the arsenal. Let's see. At this point, what's our fire chance? 6%. So if you slot both of these, we can boost it to 7%, which is actually pretty significant considering how many shells we can pump out with this thing now. It might not seem like much, but it does help. Let's see, where is our captain? There we go. Ed. Let's pimp him out. No, well, at tier 7 you absolutely have at least a 12 point. How many points do you have at tier 7? How many point captain would you have at tier 7? I think you start having like maybe even 13, 14. 14, a lot of people in chat are saying 12 to 13, 10 to 12. I usually have 14. Since I start with a 10 pointer, but that's not a good comparison. New players are not going to be starting with a 10 pointer. 12 to 14. Well, if chat is saying 12 to 14, let's go for a 13 point captain. Once you have your basic Concealment Expert and Survivability, Adrenaline Rush. Increases your reload and torpedo reload based on how much health you lose. Very, very strong. Now, you can either go Preventive Maintenance at this point, which is a pretty damn good perk. Or alternatively, you can just save for things like Superintendent, which is very useful because your smoke's such short duration. In fact, I think on this captain, I'm going to be saving for Superintendent later on because you benefit so much because you use all 3 consumables so much that getting an additional one is a very nice perk to have. Alternatively, you can also spec for Torpedo Reload, which is also a really good perk to have. Shit, I don't actually know which one I want. UI is lagging, it doesn't want to show. There we go. Torpedo Armament Expertise. Both are very good. This thing becomes more valuable at tier 10 when your torpedo reload is already fast, so bumping it to extreme levels makes the Z52 a real torpedo threat. At these tiers though, I don't know which one I would choose. You most likely don't have the points for it anyway. Alright, I am gonna go by the toilet, I'll be right back.
Station.
Back. What kind of matchmaking do we have? Tier 7. Tier 7 in general is kind of the blessed tier. You end up being top tier a lot of the time. Because tier 8s get thrown into tier 10 matchmaking. So you kind of enjoy a lot of freedom at tier 7. It's the blessed tier, so to say. That's why general tier 7 premiums are very recommended. Celox, sorry to disappoint you, but I do tend to do that. Using my Icarus smoke and the spotting he provides, deal damage to these dudes. Did he leave the smoke or not? I think he left the smoke. My Icarus is full broadside. This is something I mentioned you don't want to ever do. There's going to be torps coming from here and he's going to die in a few seconds. Can I bail him? Can I save him? I'm going to pop Hydra and see if I can save him, because I know he's about to get torped, so yeah. There we go. Looks like he had his own Hydra running.
Torpedos auf Backbord. Nebelwerfer gestartet. Torpedos auf Backbord.
Is Jervis thick enough to arm my AP?
Concentrate fire on that enemy.
He's not giving broadside. We should use H. Oh, now he is.
Nebelwand gelegt.
It's not... if he needs to angle for my AP to arm. If he gives broadside like that, then I just get overpens. Okay. I'm expecting the Jarvis to like reverse around like this, maybe. Our smoke duration is starting to become somewhat competitive. See if we can... Oh, there's something in C. The thing in C is smoked up though. We can sit outside our smoke and harass the Fuso. Plane. What's our plane detection? 3.6. What's our AA? 3.5. No point turning off our AA. There's the Jarvis. It's playing aggressive. That's good to know. Let's turn around and shoot him. This is a very slow turn, isn't it? On the turret traverse. Oh my, this is slow. That's a pretty rough experience. Still though. If we can kill the DD, it will be worth it. I really can't get these kills, can I? Get off space pushing in. Interesting.
Unser Team hat die Führung übernommen.
I think the Fuso has damage con. I'm plane spotted for now, but I'm expecting the plane to move away. There we go. Now I'm undetected. damage con the flooding, I think. Let's see if we can get some fires on him. Note that I'm keeping the island between me and him, so I don't need to waste the smoke, because as I mentioned, we don't have Superintendent yet. So we have very few smokes.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
We ate the torpedo. Is it perma-flooding? I think it's flooding. Gotta make sure I don't get too close to the Jervis, or I'll get spotted. There we go. Finally. Good lord, that took long. I think the superstructure is saturated as well. Almost. And another kill we don't get. Oh man. Wow, this is... I think we're gonna have to play 2 Mars games as well. This game seems to be over almost immediately. That's a bit tragic. Does Gaedian Z23 150mm HE get improved German pen? I don't think so. I don't think the destroyers get that shit. I'm pretty sure they don't. What a questionable game. I would say with 99% certainty that they do not get the improved pen. Because I think it's just cruisers and battleships. Everything else is excluded. The enemy team killed 1 Nuremberg. Questionable. Something happened this game that I mentioned multiple times in these commentaries. And that's the enemy destroyers were over-aggressive. All of their DDs died at the very start. Again, it's very common. DDs don't understand how important they are to the game, so they play too aggressive, they die, the game is lost. One of those few times where you could say that they were overconfident and you're not even trolling. Oh, well, this was good. We got 1 game as top tier, and now we get one game as bottom tier. It gives it some nice variation to this commentary. Although this is of course very rough for me. Once again, we know there's a radar, only 1 radar, potentially 2. Huge gunboat threat, huge gunboat threat. Rough game incoming. Oh, it's the new Islands of Ice now. Shit. I haven't played this map nearly as much as I'd like to. I don't have nearly enough experience on this map. I guess it's good that I'm getting it now. Getting some additional experience on it. General, let's look what we have and what we don't have. We have access to Hydra, which gives us an advantage in close range against the Gajah-Mada, the Akatsuki. Youthland has his own Hydro, and in general we don't want to be close enough to be Hydraing him, because he'll be soon enough close enough to Hydro us, which will wreck us pretty damn hard. Ideally, we want to try to secure A. Our concealment is shit. Even with Concealment Expert and with a 10-point captain, our concealment is garbage. So while we do want to scout, Sometimes you see DDs hide behind this island, and this is not a good thing to do. The reason why it's not a good thing to do is because you don't scout at all. Your backup can't shoot anything. If a cruiser pushes in, no one knows because, well, no one is goddamn scouting him. So your job is to absolutely spot. You need to give your team the information. Oh shit, that was a fast radar. Just as I came around the corner. It's the Atlanta, isn't it? The Atlanta is behind the island. Let's see if we can punish him. Zuma might AP us. We're trying to juke it. Oh, there he is. It ran out. Did we bait him into our torps? No, that's unfortunate. No torpedo bait. So the Atlanta rushed the island. The reason why I didn't push any further was I got radared, yes. What was important to note there was that I didn't panic. Sometimes when you see DDs get radar, they panic and they charge out full speed. And if I'd done that, then the Atlanta would have been able to shoot the entire length of my ship. But I basically just chilled until I saw what exactly I was dealing with. So the actual damage I ate, not really too bad. Sometimes DDs smoke up when they get radared as well. Missouri is pushing here to radar. We got 8.5 km torp range. DD spotted, DD spotted. We're missing the Gajah Hamada. Don't tell me the Missouri radared already. I hope it didn't. Oh, there it goes. Gajah Hamada is here. That's important to note. There he is. Get a bit of chip damage down. I think the Missouri radar too soon. He popped the radar too soon, so he didn't actually get any coverage from it, which is a shame. Shit, that's another radar already. Okay, let's not panic, let's not panic. The Zuma's behind the island, this guy's behind the island. The only one who can actually shoot me is the Gajah. No need to panic, we're just gonna chill. Keeping the island between me and these guys, they can't shoot me. Keeping the island between here, they can't shoot me either. Nice. Once again, the key is to not panic. Realize what the situation is, and then play around it.
Nebelwerfer gestartet. Nebelwand gelegt.
No fires.
Attention, reporting a target's position.
Next radar might be rough, so we're gonna create a bit of distance. Because if I get radar with a Musashi right there, I might get screwed. Can we get vision of the Atlanta? Just hugging that island. Smart. Annoying, but smart playing. He's not giving us anything. Still though, since we're struggling to get A, I'm just gonna help in flipping B instead. If we flip B, then we'll be able to circle around on A. Visori is gonna blap the Atlanta. What the hell? Nice jukes, my dude. I did not land anywhere near as many shells I would have liked it there. Problem is, he juked so much he's gonna ground. Yep, told you. That's a problem with doing shit like that is, you run out of space eventually. Poor Atlanta. He did so much work, like, in locking down that cap. Meanwhile, the battleships, full HP, Ibuka full HP. How much you want to bet this Iowa in the back is full HP as well? I've done no damage this game. I haven't really had any opportunities to deal damage, to be fair. We've been playing to win, not playing to farm damage.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Full HP, of course he was. Fucking called it.
Nebelwerfer gestartet. Nebelwand gelegt.
How's my prediction? Game pretty good.
Wir haben einen gegnerischen Kreuzer versenkt.
Well, we've done something now. But killing an Ibuki, even in the tier 7, feels like... it just feels... You feel guilty, because the poor ship is so bad these days.
Torpedos direkt voraus.
Now, we want to go find the Iowa. We can farm him for a lot of damage. Oh, hello, hello, gotcha. Gonna pick a fight? I wouldn't recommend it. I have no smoke, so you got that advantage, but... Are you gonna smoke up when I start shooting?
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Yep, they're smoking up. That's nice and all, but like... show off the AP. I mean, generally you shouldn't do this because I might die. But I just want to show the AP. Generally, of course, I would never pick a gunfight in the open like this. Okay, he's tunnel vision on my Musashi. There we go, now I can show up. I'm just gonna give him full broadside, so when he shoots me, I get mostly overpinned. Or he can just tunnel vision Musashi, I guess that works too. Yeah, the AP is very, very good against everything. Cruisers, even DDs if they're thick enough, and battleships. Hello. So what is the Gudja doing? Okay, he's behind the island. What I did there was increased my concealment by shooting. This tells me the destroyer is here. Oh, he's over here. Okay, good to know. So, Carl Latour, thank you for the sub. Did you just accuse my Musashi of mods? He's sailing in the open in a Neptune. What did you expect? Aww. Thank you for the sub, Carliter. Appreciate it. How do people expect to win hanging out of the fringe, on the fringe of the map the entire battle? I don't know, but people do it even in high tier. If all those ships had played more aggressive earlier, they would have done a lot more at A. But because they played so passive, well, this happened. And this should never happen because the mass is not particularly good for tier 7. The concealment is so bad on it. And it should not get away with doing this much work in a tier 9 battle. Still though, we got to play a tier 7 or a top tier and a bottom tier game. So I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty perfect for the sake of the example. Pretty happy for the sake of the example. Alright. Now we get to enjoy being up tier 24/7. Actually, before I move on, please UI. We're gonna dismount this one. There we go. I already have this at 23, and it's already pimped out. Let's switch this out. Oh, I didn't need to pay the... whatever. Priority-wise again, repair, smoke and repair, followed by the rest. All-wise... tempted to run 150 simply because they're hilarious. I think 128s might be a bit better simply because there's so many DDs and stuff, and these are not quite as good against destroyers. But for the memes, we'll run the 150s because it's a fun change of pace. Our Hydra got a buff because we reached tier 5. It's no longer 4 kilometers, it's 5 kilometers, which makes it a lot stronger and a lot more useful. Because now we can actually use it for aggressive plays. With a 4k Hydro, doing aggressive plays is very, very sketchy, especially since your smoke firing penalty tends to mitigate the impact. But with a 5k Hydro, you can do a lot of work. First upgrade would probably be... Holy shit. First upgrade would be the hull. Holy crap. Mr. Ericsson, thank you for the 2 months. I don't even care what the other upgrades give. This is a 33% health upgrade plus boost in rudder shift plus boost in pretty much everything. So hull absolutely first. Torpedoes next. 1 kilometer extra range on the torps. That's amazing. And then if you want to get the guns, you get the guns. But range upgrade as well. Upgrade wise, same as so far. Soviso, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it, my dudes. Appreciate all the subs. Upgrade wise, I would absolutely get the concealment. I've seen there are some, like, anything else is a meme. You need the concealment, especially because you're about to be facing a lot of tier 10 bullshit. So not having the concealment would make life far too rough to deal with. Let's see, do we have a captain? Nope, looks like we're gonna take our Mars captain. Right, now the question becomes, how many points do we have at tier 8? Do we have 15 points at tier 8? (14 to 15). 15 to 16. Let's go for 15, and I'm not gonna go for 16. 15 sounds already pretty high, maybe. 16, 14. Ultimately, though, at this point, I'm tempted to go superintendent, but considering all the hydros and all the crap, it's probably safer to just... We finally got some decent torpedo range now. We got 9.5 kilometer torpedo range, which means that we can actually play as something of a torpedo boat. We're gonna go for the torpedo armament to actually be able to utilize these things. Concealment is questionable. I think that's the most polite way of putting the concealment. 6.2 cam concealment is not fun to play with. Once again, detonation flag. At this point though, I would probably get the speed flag as well. There's gonna be so much radar and stuff, and there's gonna be some scary gunboats hunting you down, because up tiered is definitively the name of the game at tier 8. You will face a lot of tier 10 opposition. You should always take the 150mm gun, as you get 1 extra gun this way. Is that true? Are you sure about that? If it gives an additional gun, then it's obviously worth getting. Really? Okay, well, if it actually gives you additional armament and doesn't just upgrade it, then yes, you should, never mind, then you should get the gun upgrade right after the torpedoes. Gun upgrade right after the torpedoes. Wow, tier 8 matchmaking. I will take that any day of the week. Wait, did I have rudder shift? Oh shit! I think because it was an older build I had, because I didn't buy the ship completely. I think I'm running rudder shift instead of acceleration. And the thing is, I used to prefer rudder shift, but that was a long time ago. And as the meta has changed into more and more radars, being able to accelerate out of like a nasty position when you're radared has become a lot more valuable than being able to dodge and weave. Damn. Oh well. It's not a big deal. The acceleration mod only impacts the first 6 knots. Basically, 0 to 6 knots, that's when the acceleration mod is active. You get 50% boost until you reach 6 knots. After that, it pretty much becomes unnoticeable. So, not that big of a deal. A bit annoying, but not that big of a deal. I'm annoyed because the idea here is to show the most optimal builds and the optimal playstyles. And having something that's not optimal is of course a bit of a bummer, but we'll work around it. Let's see. We have a triple battleship division, which is a bad sign. But they also have a battleship division. Oh, 2 DDs. Kagero outspots me heavily. Lightning outguns me heavily. Do they have any radars? They have no radars. That's very strong for me. See if we can make use of this improved torpedo reload by throwing out some preemptive torpedoes. We're gonna go south here, in case a cruiser tries to push into the cap. The thing is, you see a lot of DDs park behind this island and just sit here like potatoes. And the problem is, if the enemy pushes a cruiser here, you're not letting your team see him. You're not helping your team kill him. But by pushing south like I'm doing now, you're granting all your firepower here. You're granting them vision. You see? Spotted. I'm spotting these ships for my team. And you see that Pensacola? I'm granting them all this vision.
Nebelwerfer gestartet. Nebelwand gelegt.
Now, ideally, all this firepower would have killed the full broadside Pensacola, but I guess you can't get everything.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Pensacola should absolutely not survive what he just did. That's a no-no. That was very questionable aim from my team. Very questionable aim. Go see, dummy. No, why would I go see? I would be all alone against a lightning and all their firepower. That would be a terrible choice. I need to clear out A and B, and then when A and B is cleared, then I can scout for my team when they push north. Going there alone right now would be the worst choice. Pushing north alone right now would get me killed. Absolutely not what you should be doing.
Alle Stationen, vorrücken zum Erobern dieses Bereichs. Jawohl. Alle Stationen, melde Position eines strategischen Ziels. Das gegnerische Team hat die Führung übernommen.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert. Gegnerischer Kreuzer gesunken.
Alle Stationen, vorrücken zum Erobern dieses Bereichs.
There we go. A is now secure. And now I can go scout B and secure it. And see, now all these guys who lemminged A will finally become useful.
Alle Kräfte, diesen Bereich erobern. Fordere Hilfe an.
Now they can finally become useful and help me. That plane is gonna be a real problem. That's the lightning.
Gegnerischer Kreuzer zerstört.
Oh, he left the smoke. Fuck.
Kritischer Maschinenschaden. Problem gelöst.
Shame I didn't have HE loaded. My HE alpha would be enough to kill him. I was tempted to go out here and kill him, but looking at the way he started turning, he's actually gonna turn left like this. We're gonna pop speed boost. And not only are we gonna torp this gap to maybe get the King George, but more importantly we might be able to catch this lightning turning around. See? Told you. Oh, he survived. Unfortunate. Can my Hydra reach him? Oh, my Hydra ran out. I'm an idiot. Still sitting there though. Which way are they turning?
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff gesichtet. Gegnerischen Kreuzer entdeckt.
Oh shit.
Nebelwand gelegt.
Yeah, we're leaving. coming around this corner as well. Don't want to be overrun. Because my team is for some reason hiding back here. Barely made it in time. Oh shit, that plane. Is that a battleship-sized gap? Almost.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff gesunken.
Where the fuck is my team going?
Nebelwerfer gestartet. Nebelwand gelegt.
Wir haben ein gegnerisches Schlachtschiff versenkt.
Gegnerischen Kreuzer entdeckt.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Feuer auf festgelegtes Ziel konzentrieren.
Jesus, why are they so far away? What? Why are you so far away, team?
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff entdeckt.
The lightning is here. That's good to know. How's my prediction, Torps? Really good, but I don't think I have the range. Nope. Okay.
Unser Sieg ist in Sicht.
What the fuck is that positioning, man? That's rough. Are you gonna accelerate or reverse? That's a reverse.
Ich brauche Hilfe!
My graph space Yola. Which way is my Gnazi now gonna turn?
Torpedos auf
Turned
Steuerbord.
away. Are they gonna trade at least? Guy AFK. My lander dies. How fucked are we? Get 200k. No, this is a commentary for how to play the ship. I'm not gonna do stupid frag hunting things when I'm trying to show how to optimally play the ship. That would be a waste. If this was any other stream, I would probably YOLO in, go for my Kraken and all that shit, but the purpose of Tech 3 Thursday is teaching. Showing how to optimally play the ship type. Yeah, they can't win. Unless I die. That Bismarck was painfully useless. Holy crap. A tier 8 battleship with top tier and he's sat in the back sniping. This game was teetering on a knife's edge for most of the match because my team really didn't want to win this game. 3 caps again. This has been a common theme, and this is something the German destroyers are exceptionally good at, and that is capture control. With the help of the hydro and the good torps and guns, basically the hybrid adaptability, it means that they are extremely good at pretty much bullying enemy destroyers out of the cap. And that's what we saw this game. I secured pretty much all the caps for our team. Yeah, 3000 base. That is I would call that quite the carry, when it, especially since this kind of shit doesn't make the game much easier, so to say. Yeah, that is a bit sad. That is a bit sad. They were pretty lucky that they didn't get thrown into tier 10 matchmaking, because they had 2 tier 7s and a tier 8. They could have gotten thrown into tier 10. Shame. If this hadn't been a, if I hadn't been tryharding, I would absolutely have, you know I would have rushed this York, and you know I would have gone for the Kraken and more base XP. But Tech 3 Thursday is about intelligent gameplay, and not about EP and stroking. Cheers.